Taiwan Semiconductor long-term analysis 2025-2027. Is it a good one to buy for the long term or not? Read the disclaimer right here in the video description below. What we are watching right now here below is the net income in quarters, and that's an important indicator to assess if a stock is good or not, because obviously for the long term it clearly is. We're talking about the best net income, positive net income ever in the company. We're talking about the last quarter in December 2024 is like more than 11 billion in that particular quarter, so that's completely nuts if you compare the data with the past, because obviously by 2018 the net income was 3 billion, so we're talking about almost 4 times that number in one quarter, so completely insane. But obviously, we have to assess, because the reality right now is the correlation with the price action and the net income is not always exact. It's not as precise as one may think. But obviously, we are trading at the top part. We're talking about the new highs were established back in January 2025. So obviously we are very close to those levels because of that particular net income, So the only risk I would say here is, with Nvidia obviously is the same question, Nvidia is making new highs every time, and the key question is like, will it continue? As long as they make new highs in the net income, it could, and it should obviously. If we go to the forecast, and that's important to see if it's going to happen or not, because we have a lot of analysts from Wall Street, and the thing here is we don't have so many, but we have 12, and the average think that the stock should go up, 38%. There is like a maximum estimate of more than 47%. According to this, right now we're trading 179. It should be trading 265, so that's a long way to go. But the most important indicator is the earnings per share, EPS, right here, and the revenue. So in terms of quarters, it's very similar. You can see the growth, but it's not that big, because it's like very small every time. But it counts. Everything counts, and that's probably one of the reasons the stock is making new highs every time, because we are getting better numbers, and that's the answer. But the most important indicator is the annual, because right here, look at that. By 2024, we had a reported earnings of 6.87. But by the end of 2025, it's gonna be 9.14, and look at it's very precise, because the reported and the estimate, they are very close, to each other, and that's important, because the analysts, they nail it every time, not exactly, but they are very precise, and that's important to assess if you should buy it or not. So according to this, you should buy it, because obviously right now we are trading at 6.87 EPS, but in the future it's gonna be 9, and in the next year, in 2026, it's gonna be 10, or almost 11, and by 2028 it's gonna be 13. So I would say, in terms for the long term, it's very good. The only risk I would see with this one is a market correction, a market crash. The S&P 500 correcting, and all main indices from different countries correcting at the same time very, very sharply. That's the only risk I would say we have, and because the technical analysis is very good, maybe a little bit overbought, but it doesn't matter. Look at that. Look at the data. We're going to have better numbers. And that's the thing, with Taiwan Semiconductor manufacturing, it's a monopoly, they don't have real competition, and that's important, to see if the company is going to continue to grow or not. Suddenly we see like a big competitor, and getting like better numbers every time, and Taiwan Semiconductor decreasing the net income every quarter, that would be different. But it's not the case for now. So obviously for the long term, it could work. It could continue to work. So that's good. And that's the thing, because look at that. Look at the revenue. By 2027, we're going to have like more than 150. In comparison to that, it's like almost double the current numbers which we are experiencing. So there is a lot of room for growth with this company, similar to what's happened with Nvidia. Maybe Nvidia is completely overbought in that sense, but it's continuing to provide those better numbers. So the EPS is the APS, and if we have like better EPS every quarter, you don't have reasons to think the stock should go down. That's the theory, and normally in practice it's always the same. So I hope you enjoyed the video, guys. Remember to subscribe. I'll leave your comments below. What do you think about Taiwan Semiconductor? Is it a good stock to buy or not? And now we have this with this new deal that they're gonna invest in 100 billion in the U.S. That's important too, because we have a lot of news going on, a lot of exposure with the company. If they manufacture, the products they have in the US, that's gonna be better, because they're gonna avoid, these taxes, and because of manufacturing in different countries. So thank you very much, guys. See you in the next one. But remember to subscribe to Trading the Steve to watch more content like this, and see you in the next video.